Let's dive right in. What week is this?
It is New Hampshire Antiques Week.
New Hampshire?
New Hampshire?
New Hampshire?
New Hampshire?
What About Bob? That's a What About Bob reference for those of you out there. That film takes place not too far from where we're staying.
In Lake Winnipesaukee.
Lake Winnipesaukee? Yeah, I can't say that word. I'm not going to try. But we went up there last night. Super cute place. Which is one of the reasons why Antiques Week in New Hampshire is so awesome. It's not just the antiques, it's all the other stuff. And we're going to cover that. But first, a quick recap of all 5 shows. It's now 5 shows in the week. And while we're talking, I'm going to show a preview of some of the stuff I'm taking to my booth. That'll be some of the B-roll, as well as some of the cool stuff I saw last year, maybe part of B-roll, and some of the cool restaurants and everything else.
And then so much footage of Red, because Red is life.
Red is life. Red is our dog. So, Antiques Week New Hampshire. It is. They have these pamphlets out and around. You can find them.
Yeah.
August 6th.
Starts August 6th. So it's usually the second full week
Yeah.
of August, and it's held annually every year. And there's just a whole week of amazing shows and lots of cool things to see. And it starts off in Milford, New Hampshire.
Milford, New Hampshire, a small, I guess they're all about the same size, about 60 dealers, indoor show, and an athletic club. Kind of a cool building just for that. I think this is probably the cheapest show to set up at if you're a vendor.
Yeah.
Is my guess.
But one of the most expensive to get in.
Well, so you, as a buyer, you can actually get in while they're setting up, and that's a little bit of money. That was like $50. I have not looked that up.
I think.
I'll look that up and put it down below. But yeah, you
can
get in while they set up, and then it's like $8, and then like at a certain time it's like $5, and after a certain time it's free.
So early buying there can be a little expensive, and some people are really like my dad. My dad's been a dealer for 50 years, and if he can't get in early, he's just not interested. So some people are really obsessed, but like we aren't really that particular with it because we feel like, I don't know, we've gone into shows late and found things.
So that's a great show if you want to shop while they're setting up. It's a smaller tabletop show for the most part.
Yeah.
That is Sunday. I do the Deerfield show, which opens Monday, but we start setting up Sunday afternoon.
And that's at the Deerfield Fair in Deerfield, New Hampshire, which
just outside of Manchester, not too far.
Yeah, it's like, it's kind of centrally located, I would say. Yeah.
2 of the shows are in Manchester, and then everything else is sort of in the Manchester vicinity.
Yeah.
So Deerfield is it has wall settings, it has walls, it has indoor and outdoor vendors. A little more
formal. I'd say Milford is the most casual.
Milford's the most casual. Deerfield's the next step up. Deerfield is probably the second cheapest show to do as a vendor.
But it's like, to me, and I love all the shows, and I do social media for one of the shows, Karen Desaya's show at the end of the week, but the Deerfield show to me is like quintessential New England antique show. Like no muss, no fuss. It's not super fancy, but you can find some amazing pieces there.
Really nice stuff. Some of it will be room settings a little bit. Not all room settings. Some of the dealers will have walls and lights, so they'll be a little fancier than that. And some dealers just outside under a tent.
Yeah.
So
outdoors, indoors.
At a cool old fairgrounds.
Yeah, we argued about this yesterday. There used to be this like infamous pie lady who set up selling her pies, but he doesn't think she's there anymore. I don't know that she's
there anymore. I can't
remember. Need to do some research about this and inform these good people who are watching this video.
I'll look that up. So that is Tuesday. Like I said, that's the cheaper show to do. I always buy stuff there. Oh, it's Monday. I'm sorry. It used to be Tuesday.
The whole week got
changed.
Confusing.
The whole week changed. So that is Monday.
Sunday is Milford. Monday is Deerfield.
And then Deerfield's promoted by the Gurley brother sister whose mom Nan promoted the show for years.
Yeah, Nan Gurley had a shop in Cornish for a long time, and I think she didn't she have
promoted a bunch of shows? A bunch of shows. And now they promote a bunch of shows. So Tuesday is the Concord show. They call it the Americana Celebration Antique Show.
The Americana Celebration Antique Show. Now this show is like a little bit fancier in terms of like more walls.
This is the first show with walls, or like all walls, all indoors.
Yeah.
And most of the dealers
not air conditioned.
It's air conditioned sometimes. It was not air conditioned last year. It was hot last year.
How does that work?
I don't know. It was air conditioned. I did it a couple years ago. I had air conditioning. I don't know.
I just remember the doors always being open. It's in like a really big building. It's really airy, and they usually have the doors open.
It's an ice rink.
That's right. It's an ice rink. There's no ice.
There's no ice this time of year. Concord, though, you are mere blocks away, half a mile from my favorite burrito place.
There's a lot of good eats in Concord. There's a lot of good eats in New England, and so we'll talk about that towards the end. But when you're hitting the Americana Celebration on Tuesday, I mean, what is like when we think of the most New England thing of all time, we think of what? LL Bean. And there is a very conveniently located an LL Bean outlet just down the street,
so
like 5 minutes from the show.
Yeah, you can do both.
So if you've never been to New England, you've got to hit up an LL Bean outlet. Like, you just have to.
Yeah, you buy fuzzy boots or something. Do they still sell those anymore?
Those were Uggs. Oh my gosh, he does not know his fashion.
I don't know. Yeah, they used to sell fuzzy boots. So that's the Tuesday show. The Wednesday show, which is perhaps, that's the Karen DeSaya show. That's who she...
Yes, so I do the social media campaign for Karen DeSaya's show, and it is held at the Sullivan Ice Arena on the beautiful campus of St. Anselm College. It is such a beautiful campus. It's really spacious. So, like, there's really wide aisles and, like, lots of room to move around.
Yeah, from a dealer standpoint, that has the one of the easier setups because of the wide aisles. I've never done that show. I have set up at some Karen run shows in the past, and setup always goes smoothly with her shows. Yeah, she is a real professional when it comes to promoting that.
Yeah, and she's amazing to work with. Love it. Yeah. And it's a really cool building because, like, I think they have bathrooms downstairs, but then they have some of the bathrooms upstairs, but it's all open. So when you're standing up on that second level, you get this, like, incredible bird's eye view of the show and people shopping, and you can see the booths from, like, above, which is a really unique thing. You don't
also
typically...
an ice rink.
It is also an ice rink.
It's New England. They're all ice rinks. They all play ice hockey.
Hockey is a big deal up here.
That's a cool show. That show, there's been, definitely in years past, that show has had probably better stuff than any show up here.
Yeah.
It's always sort of close with the Thursday show, but that show is, over the years, Karen has had some of the best dealers in Americana, especially, like, more formal stuff than any show up here.
And she's a little more progressive too in the dealers she allows. Like, sometimes antique shows can be really rigid in the type of things they'll allow you to sell with good reason. Like, obviously, if you're setting up at a vintage clothing show and you show up with, like, mid-century modern furniture, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
But, like, Karen's really progressive, so, like, she loves antiques and vintage items from all eras.
So she understands that some of this stuff it's no junk, obviously, but
no, really good quality of all kinds, really unique pieces, like outsider art. You'll see that there. I don't think you'll see much of that at any of the other shows. Yeah, which is really cool. And her show is Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah. From 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
And then Thursday opens the final show, the New Hampshire Antique Dealer Show.
That's in downtown Manchester at the Hilton, right? It's the
Doubletree.
Doubletree
by Hilton.
Yeah.
Right in downtown. So parking is a bit of a trouble. If you do park in the garage, remember to bring your. They'll give you, like, a ticket when you pull in, because you can get it. What's that called when they punch the ticket outside?
Like verified or whatever.
You take it in, you can get cheaper parking. Take it with you into the show, though. And that is the show that sort of anchors the week, I guess. That's the final show.
Yep, it's the last one. And this one, along with Karen's show. Saturday. Yeah, so it's the longest show. It runs
3 days.
3 days.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
And there is they have a little bit of a preview kind of party on opening night, correct?
Yeah, they have drinks and stuff. I mean, the show opens in the morning at 10 o'clock. But yeah, they have that because the show runs until 7. Yeah. So I don't know when the drinks start, sometime 5-ish.
And Karen's show also has a cafe as well that's really fancy. You get, like, some really nice gourmet salads and sandwiches and things like that, and wine and beer and stuff, which is really nice.
Of course, food. Can't be a Matt Gregg Antiques video without talk about food.
I know. If you haven't, like, learned by now, we're kind of obsessed with food, and that's part of the benefit of being nomadic. We get to try all kinds of incredible food all across the U.S.
And so we've been coming to New Hampshire either together for a couple years now, but separately for years and years and years. And of course, you can't come to New Hampshire without lobsters.
Lobster?
Maine. You could go to Maine and get a lobster.
I've been here almost a full week, my friends. I have yet to have a lobster roll.
Yeah. So
this is a problem.
Some favorite spots recommended to me by a local Dover, New Hampshire boy.
Local yokel man.
Yeah. Rye. Go check out Rye. There's 2
Rye,
places
New
in
Hampshire.
Rye.
Petey's, summertime seafood or something.
Very good. A lot of fried stuff there, but very good. Right on near the water. They have baked right on the water. It is delicious.
It's so incredible. The food is really great. And then also in Rye is this, I don't even remember the name, but it's
something harbor, lobster harbor pound.
All you need to know is that they serve the fluffy chowder, and that's the place. Yeah. Their lobster rolls. So if you're new to New England, lobster rolls come 2 ways. Connecticut style and then Maine style.
Yeah.
So Connecticut style is like hot and buttered, whereas Maine is like cold with mayo. We're not really mayo people.
I don't mess with the Maine lobster.
If anything can make mayo taste good, it's going to be lobster.
No,
so
it's still mayo's gross. So you got to go with the macro recommendation is get the hot one with the butter and
the Connecticut style.
Yeah,
but you can't go wrong either way.
You know, if you're up here all week, you're probably going to venture over to Maine. You might do some antique shopping over there because there's other shops and flea markets and everything. But there's also in Wells.
Fisherman's Catch.
Oh, that place is great.
It's so good. I discovered
last year, that years ago.
I have deep roots in New England. My parents came on their honeymoon here in 1980, and I've been coming up here. I've probably been up here close to 30 times. And last year I learned that they catch little shrimp in Maine. I didn't know that. I thought shrimp all came from like the Gulf ocean. Or something. Yeah. But they catch little shrimp here. And I tried them at Fisherman's Catch, little batter fried shrimp, and it was so yummy.
So you're up here, you want an antique, you got to go to some antique shops.
There's lots of antiquing. You can't say New England without antiquing.
Exactly. So that's the good thing of these shows. If you go to the show, you know, even if you spend 3-4 hours at the show, that'll put you 1-2 in the afternoon. What are you going to do? You have lunch, go antiquing. You can go straight down New Hampshire 4 is like Antique Alley, they call it. There's a bunch of shops there. You can head over to Maine. Maine has
Route 1.
Route 1 has a lot of shops along Maine. A lot of my friends, they start at the York's Antique Gallery.
York Antique Gallery is a great place.
North. If you're on New Hampshire 4, you got to go to my friend Tommy Thompson, co-owns this shop called Thomas Bartlett.
Yep, Thomas Bartlett Antiques.
Yeah, and that's actually really close to the Deerfield show, or really close to the Concord show and the Deerfield show. And he sets up at the Deerfield show, and it's open all week. The shop, it's not just him, so it will be open. It's a small group shop.
It is a small group shop, but lots of quality stuff. And they even do a little like opening, like preview.
They have a little party,
like, little wine cheese thing going on.
You got to go there. I always buy something out of that shop.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun.
A lot of museums in the area too.
A lot of museums. There's so much history. You are so close to Boston. You are close to Salem, which if you've ever heard of the Salem witch trials, there is so much to see there. And it's perfect. This is like a perfect time to visit Salem because starting by like mid-September, Salem gets mobbed for like the Halloween season. So
you can't get there in Halloween.
This is a great time to visit without all of the crowds. And there's great seafood there. So much history. There is...
what's that one museum with the...
So Nita Fletcher Little?
Yeah, that's it.
So
say
Nita
that 5 times fast.
Right, and the name of the museum is also not easy to say. It's Cogswell's Grant, and it's a part of Historic New England. So if you just go to I think it's historicnewengland.org or just Google that, he can put the link in the subject But there's so many museums that you can go to. It's like kind of like a network of like a lot of the historical. I mean, everywhere you go, there's a historic home or like George Washington spit or something. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
There's
George Washington spit here.
Right. There's so much history and so much to do. We recommend like just driving down a random road. Like we have found some really cool stuff just like randomly, like the farm stands or the farm markets.
Yeah, you'll see 17th century graves. Graves next to the road.
Yeah, everywhere. Like the cemeteries, the old cemeteries are just all along. You'll see the old stone walls that I think they put up during the Revolutionary War.
Depending on what direction you're coming in. Deerfield, though.
Whew. Deerfield, Massachusetts. In 1704, the French and Indians raided Deerfield and massacred the town and kidnapped a bunch of people and in February hiked them north to Canada. Yeah. So we can all imagine.
But then this town got resettled. It has a lot of history. Actually, they have an old section of town that is like set up sort of like Sturbridge and Williamsburg.
There's probably
that kind of vibe.
I would say a dozen or so buildings that you can go in and they're all incredible and just show the architecture of Deerfield. The architecture of New England is really something to behold.
What's that one museum though? We just went.
Oh, Memorial Hall.
Memorial Hall. That's a great museum.
It's such a cool museum. And I believe for the year 2023, because it's the some celebration, like some centennial or something, it's free. It's free.
It was free the other day when we went. You should give a donation.
You should totally give a donation.
It's a great museum. If you want to see a Hadley chest, go there.
Yeah,
in fact, you'll see
Hadley chests.
3, I believe. 3 Hadley chests.
They have the old Indian door. So when the raid was happening, the French and Indians raided the town. one of the doors, like an Indian door was built, they had it was
Vertical
reinforced,
boards
vertical and horizontal boards on either side, so it was reinforced, so it was harder to break into. And there's a door where you can see, like, there's a hole in the middle, and it's where they were using the.
They did break in.
They
didn't
broke
break it all the way
in
down,
and,
and
like,
they could shoot through the hole.
Yeah, like it's a crazy thing that is.
There's a
still
lot of
existing.
really cool antiques, all donated from the town or collected by the guy who sold it
Yeah.
to the museum. So that's a great museum to go to.
Totally.
If you want to get up super early, there's flea markets everywhere.
So many flea markets.
I can't name a couple of them because I got in trouble once, but you can go to Todd's Farm. I got in trouble for mentioning Todd's Farm. I actually did a couple of videos about Todd's Farm, but if you're interested, get up early, go to Todd's Farm.
That is over in Newburyport, Massachusetts,
Yeah,
so just north of Salem and Boston.
Yeah,
really cute area.
Super cool area. That starts early.
Super early. Like
what's the one in? Well, the one in Maine closed.
Monsweek
is no more.
That was
sadly.
up in Wisconsin.
That was pretty far up there in Maine. But what's the one further south, closer to
Connecticut?
No. Well, yeah, further south in Maine.
In Maine. Oh, starts with Avon. Starts with an A.
Where's your phone?
Avondale. Rivendell.
Right. No. There's one in southern Maine as well.
Arundel.
Arundel. There we go. Arundel. We're nothing if not professional. So Arundel, go hit Arundel. Maybe I only went once. It's open every day. I went during the week, but it's busiest on the weekends, of course.
Yeah.
There's a few in New Hampshire. Like I said, I can't mention those by name, but they're out there.
They're out there. Just Google flea markets. You'll find them.
Flea markets. Lots of antique shops. Lots of
shops,
museums. Lots of restaurants.
Seafood.
Hikes. We went on a couple hikes.
Some crazy cool hikes. Mount Kearsarge, which is up on your way to New London. And if you hit that, there's also another Native American museum there, because there's
that's a great museum too.
A lot of Native American history.
Wait, I didn't go in that museum. I sat outside with Red.
I know. We
That's
had
right.
dog.
You went in that museum.
And dog can't go.
Yeah,
into
they don't let the dog in.
Isn't that sad? He wants to learn too.
He was riding around with us, but yeah, that's a cool hike.
That's a great one.
The dog can do the hike.
In Maine, we went up to, and I'm not going to pronounce this correctly, Mount Agamenticus. I think I got it.
That sounds close enough for me.
Via Blueberry Hill Trail or something.
Yeah,
but it was like,
cool hike.
You got to see the ocean. You see Maine from the top of that. I mean, you're in Maine, but you can see the water. You can see like York Beach.
You can see the ocean.
And
you see York Beach. Yeah,
it's really cool.
And well, on that note, our dog is starting to get feisty. Red, we're filming here, buddy. That might be the end of this video. That is the preview for all things New Hampshire Antiques.
New Hampshire?
Red has called it.
Yeah, he's saying this at the end. So if you come to the shows and come to Deerfield, tell me what's up.
Yeah, stop in.
You might see Emily running around at Karen's show on Wednesday and Thursday, and you'll see me possibly shopping all the other shows and maybe eating a lobster.
I know. Yeah.
So see you there.
All right.
Peace out. Thanks for watching.
New Hampshire?